A terrifying glimpse into the future. 2025's biggest threats. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into a pool of existential dread, exploring some of the most significant threats the world will face in 2025 and beyond. So buckle up, dear viewers, because we're about to unpack a grab bag of global challenges, from cyber threats to environmental concerns and more. Let's get started. Cybergeddon 2025. When hackers go full sci-fi on us. The year 2025 has brought with it a new era of cyber threats that seems straight out of a science fiction novel. Hackers have evolved, and their methods are more sophisticated and dangerous than ever before. Alright, let's start with the one that keeps tech CEOs awake at night: cyber threats. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill viruses or malware. We're talking about highly coordinated, AI-driven attacks that can infiltrate even the most secure systems. We're talking next-level AI-powered attacks that could make the Sony hack look like child's play. These AI systems can learn and adapt, making them incredibly difficult to defend against. They can identify vulnerabilities in real time and exploit them faster than any human hacker ever could. Imagine a world where your toaster demands a ransom in Bitcoin, or your self-driving car decides to take you on a scenic detour straight into a lake. These aren't just hypothetical scenarios, they're real possibilities in our hyper-connected world. And it's not just the technology itself we need to worry about. The interconnected nature of our devices means that a breach in one system can have cascading effects on others. Your smart fridge could be the entry point for a hacker to access your home network. The humans are still the weakest link. Despite all the advancements in technology, human error remains a significant vulnerability. Social engineering tactics are getting more sophisticated by the day, with phishing scams so convincing, you'll willingly hand over your social security number. Social engineering tactics are getting more sophisticated by the day, with phishing scams so convincing, you'll willingly hand over your social security number. These scams often play on our emotions, making it difficult to recognize them for what they are. And then there are deepfakes. These AI-generated videos can make it look like anyone is saying or doing anything. The implications for misinformation and fraud are staggering. Remember that time you thought you saw a video of the Pope wearing a Supreme puffer jacket? It was funny then. But the technology behind it is no joke. Deepfakes can be used to create fake news, manipulate public opinion, and even blackmail individuals. Now imagine the technology weaponized. In the wrong hands, deepfakes can be used to incite violence, disrupt elections, and cause widespread panic. The line between reality and fiction becomes increasingly blurred. We're talking about a world where trust in online information completely erodes. When you can't trust what you see or hear, the very foundation of our digital society is at risk. This erosion of trust can have far-reaching consequences, from undermining democracy to destabilizing economies. It's enough to make you want to throw your phone in the ocean and retreat to a cabin in the woods. But even then, you're not safe. The reach of cyber threats extends far beyond urban centers and into the most remote locations. But even then, you're not safe. Hackers can target anyone, anywhere. Even in a remote cabin, your devices can be compromised, and your personal information can be stolen. Hackers love a vulnerable supply chain. These complex networks are often the weakest link in an organization's security. A single compromised component can have a ripple effect, disrupting entire industries. Remember that time a single compromised software update crippled thousands of businesses worldwide? Fun times. This incident highlighted the importance of securing every link in the supply chain, from the smallest vendor to the largest corporation. As more devices become interconnected, the attack surface expands exponentially. Each new device is a potential entry point for hackers, making it increasingly difficult to secure our digital environments. We're talking about everything from power grids to hospitals being held hostage by digital ransom notes. These critical infrastructures are prime targets for cyber attacks, and the consequences of a successful breach can be devastating. So, what can we do about it? The first step is awareness. Understanding the threats we face is crucial to developing effective defenses. We also need to invest in education and training to ensure that everyone, from the average user to the top executive, knows how to protect themselves. We need to stop reusing the same password for every single online account. Strong, unique passwords are a basic but essential defense against cyber threats. Using a password manager can help you keep track of them all. We also need to invest in robust cybersecurity infrastructure and start thinking about the ethical implications of technology before we unleash it upon the world. This means building security into our systems from the ground up, and considering the potential consequences of new technologies. Collaboration is key. Governments, businesses, and individuals must work together to create a safer digital world. Sharing information about threats and best practices can help us stay one step ahead of the hackers. The future of cybersecurity is uncertain, but one thing is clear. We must be proactive in our efforts to protect ourselves and our digital society. By staying informed, investing in security, and working together, we can build a safer, more secure future for everyone. From Twitter feuds to actual wars, the geopolitical tinderbox of 2025. In an era where a tweet can spark international outrage, the lines between digital spats and real-world conflicts are blurring more than ever. Let's move on from the digital world to the world of geopolitics. The stakes are higher, the players are more powerful, and the consequences are far-reaching. If you thought 2023 was a wild ride, hold on to your hats, because 2025 is shaping up to be a real doozy. The pace of global events is accelerating, and the world seems to be on a constant edge. We've got the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which has the potential to escalate faster than a Twitter argument. The situation remains volatile, with new developments almost daily, making it a focal point of global tension. And then, there are the elections in various European countries, which could make a pack of rabid badgers look like a model UN assembly. The political landscape is fragmented, and the rise of populist movements adds another layer of unpredictability. Let's not forget about the ever-present tensions between major world powers. The diplomatic chess game is more intricate than ever, with each move scrutinized and countered in real time. It's like watching a global game of Risk, played by people who take board games way too seriously. Every decision, every alliance, and every betrayal has the potential to reshape the global order. All of this adds up to a powder keg of geopolitical instability, just waiting for the right spark. The world is a tinderbox, and it feels like we're all holding our breath, waiting for the inevitable. That spark could come in many forms, like a state-sponsored cyber attack or a good old-fashioned military conflict. Cyber warfare is the new frontier, with nations investing heavily in digital arsenals. And then there's the issue of misinformation and propaganda. In the age of information, controlling the narrative is as crucial as controlling territory. In this environment, it's not just about who has the biggest guns anymore, it's about who can control the narrative. The battle for hearts and minds is fought on social media platforms and news outlets. But hey, at least we'll have plenty of memes to distract us from the impending apocalypse, right? In these turbulent times, humor becomes a coping mechanism, a way to make sense of the chaos around us. Amidst all this turmoil, there are also glimmers of hope. People around the world are coming together, raising their voices for peace, justice, and a better future. The power of collective action should not be underestimated. International cooperation and humanitarian efforts continue to play a crucial role in mitigating conflict and addressing global challenges. Despite the chaos, there are those working tirelessly to make the world a better place. And let's not forget the strides we're making in science and technology. These advancements have the potential to solve some of our most pressing issues, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the uncertainty. In the end, it's our shared humanity that binds us together. Despite the geopolitical tensions, the conflicts, and the chaos, we must remember that we are all part of the same global community. Together, we can navigate these turbulent times and build a brighter future. Economic Meltdown, 2025. Will this be the year your crypto turns into dial-up modem tones? As we stand on the precipice of another potential financial crisis, the question on everyone's mind is whether our digital assets will hold their value or become as obsolete as dial-up internet. Now let's talk about money. It's the lifeblood of our economy, the fuel that keeps the engine running. But what happens when the engine starts to sputter? The global economy is looking a little bit like that one friend who shows up to a party already 3 sheets to the wind. Unsteady, unpredictable, and on the verge of causing a scene. We've got inflation soaring, supply chains tangled, and a global debt clock ticking faster than a metronome on a Red Bull 4-drip. It's a perfect storm of economic challenges that could have far-reaching consequences. Trade tensions between countries are about as subtle as a mariachi band at a library. These disputes are not just about tariffs and trade balances. They reflect deeper geopolitical struggles that could destabilize global markets. It's enough to make even the most optimistic economist reach for the panic button. The uncertainty is palpable, and businesses are scrambling to adapt to the new normal. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that financial planning has never been more critical. The decisions you make today could have long-lasting impacts on your financial well-being. It means that your morning latte might soon cost more than your monthly rent. Inflation isn't just a number on a chart, it's something that affects our daily lives in very tangible ways. We're facing a very real risk of economic instability and potentially even a recession. The signs are all around us, from volatile stock markets to rising unemployment rates. Central banks have already used up most of their ammunition trying to prop up the economy after the COVID-19 pandemic. Interest rates are at historic lows and there's little room left for maneuvering. The pandemic exposed just how fragile and interconnected our global economy really is. It showed us that a crisis in one part of the world can quickly become a global issue. One disruption in one part of the world can send shockwaves across the entire system. Whether it's a natural disaster, a political upheaval, or a health crisis, the ripple effects can be devastating. So what can we do about it? We can start by having honest conversations about the challenges we face and the solutions we need. It's going to take a collective effort to navigate these turbulent times. We can demand better policies that promote economic stability and sustainability. This means holding our leaders accountable and pushing for reforms that address the root causes of our economic woes. Because if we don't, 2025 might be the year we all learn the true meaning of the phrase, "eat the rich." Wealth inequality is reaching unprecedented levels, and the social fabric is starting to fray. It's up to us to ensure that the future is one of shared prosperity, not division and strife. Mother Nature is sending you a bill, and it's printed on a melting glacier. It's time to talk about the big one: climate change. Temperatures are rising, sea levels are creeping up, and extreme weather events are becoming more common. We're talking about hurricanes, wildfires, and droughts. As the planet continues to warm, we can expect to see even more extreme and unpredictable weather patterns. The worst part is, this is just the tip of the melting iceberg. Scientists have been sounding the alarm bells for years, but for too long, their warnings have been ignored. But hey, at least we've got those reusable grocery bags, right? Pandemic 2.0 Electric Boogaloo. This time, it's personal, hygiene. Remember back in 2019 when the biggest threat to humanity seemed like it was the ending of Game of Thrones? The healthcare system got rocked by the COVID-19 pandemic. But here's the thing. COVID was a wake-up call. It exposed just how unprepared we are for a global health crisis. And trust me, folks, COVID was not a one-off. We live in a world where international travel is easier than ever, where factory farms are breeding grounds for new viruses, and where people still refuse to wash their hands. We're also facing the threat of antimicrobial resistance. We've been throwing antibiotics at every sniffle for so long that bacteria are starting to develop resistance. Imagine a world where a simple cut could kill you. So what can we do about it? We need to invest in pandemic preparedness and address the root causes of pandemics. Because if we don't, the next pandemic might be the one that wipes us off the map for good. Outro, so we're all doomed. Want to grab a drink? Well, there you have it, folks. A not-so-fun glimpse into the potential horrors that await us in 2025. But before you crawl into a bunker, let's end on a hopeful note. While the challenges we face are daunting, they're not insurmountable. We have the technology, resources, and collective will to create a better future. If we can learn from the past and come together as a global community, we can build a world where 2025 is a year of progress, prosperity, and hope.